Now in this session, let's learn how to use subqueries in the from clause. Okay, we use subqueries in the from clause mostly whenever we join the detailed data with the aggregated data. Okay, see, here we are selecting the data from the sales table, like your sales date, order ID, customer ID, salesperson ID, total amount, and then here you see there is a subquery. This is one subquery and I'm naming it as ST. What am I doing in the subquery? I'm getting the sum of total amount from the sales. That means I'm summing up the entire total amount and calling it as sales total. And that aggregated value I want to display for each row in the sales table. Okay, you see how I combined my detailed data with the aggregated data, which is sales total. Okay, now let's see another example. Here you see I am performing a subquery where I am calculating the sales total by sales date. Okay, by sales date, this will give me the sales total. Okay, and I am getting the detailed data from the sales table. I'm calling this subquery as ST and I'm joining between sales date and this subquery ST sales date. Okay, so what will this do? It will find out the sales total for each sales date and it will display that sales total for that sales date in that corresponding row. Okay, now let's go and check it out. Okay, so we have selected 5 columns from sales. Now let's find out what is the sum of total amount and display that value as a column over here. Okay, I'll say comma and now write your subquery first. Okay, so let me write the subquery. Select sum of total amount and I'll call it as total sales. From which table? From sales. Let me execute this first. Okay, so I will run that and you see I got 4620. Now let me keep this subquery in a bracket. Okay, and I'll call it as ST. You can call it anything you want. Okay, it's just an alias name. And now I'll take this total sales and I'll add this over here. Now let me run this. You see that 4620 was displayed in every row and this is the detailed data and this is the aggregated data. So now let's take this SQL and let me do a group by at sales date. So I will add sales date and I'll perform a group by on sales date. Sales date. And let me run this. You see, for each sales date it is displaying the total sales. Now let's take this subquery, okay, and I'll replace there. Okay, and now let's join the sales table and this subquery using sales date. Okay, where s dot sales date equal to st dot sales date. Okay, now let's run this. You see, for 1st January it calculated the total sales, which is 66 plus 44, which is 110. So that is why it displayed that 110 in these 2 rows. For 1st February it calculated the total sales and displayed here. For 9th February it calculated by summing up these 3 values, which came to 2420 and it is showing in each row, and the same thing for 2nd January 15. Okay, you see how you are able to use a subquery as part of a from clause. Okay, and remember this point, you will be using mostly whenever you are combining your detailed data and your aggregated data. Okay.